everybody. Welcome to Old Bear Studio and this first episode of In the Session. And we decided to have our good buddy Rick Lee James be the first person to do something like this. So thank you for doing it, man.
My pleasure, certainly.
The premise behind this is just a small informational piece about, a particular project or a song that we're working on here in the studio, and to get some initial thoughts and feedback about how things are going. This song that we recorded yesterday has a pretty cool story around it. It was written by a guy named Rich Mullins, and Rick is going to share a little bit more about Rich.
Rich is sort of to Christian music what Bob Dylan is to secular music, I think, because he was such a prolific writer, and he was such an influence to so many people. And this is the 20th anniversary of his death this year. I can't think of too many artists who, especially in the genre of like CCM music, that 20 years later, after the hit or whatever, that we're still thinking about their songs and we're still thinking about their influence. And we had the opportunity to record a song that was really never recorded before. A lady named Beth Snell Lutz actually had the wisdom back when she was in college to record, I think maybe upwards of 100 songs by Rich, live performances and things, and she bought a tape recorder. And I only learned about that recently. And so she had some of these songs that, some of them are just incredibly good, they just never got recorded. Some of them are like all of us, we all write songs and they just don't make the cut.
Sure.
But this one is called Thunder that we recorded, and this is one, from what I understand, it was written in 1978. And a song has to be pretty good quality to hold up decades later, and through all that time, because that's almost as old as I am. And so this song called Thunder, Lowell Alexander was a good friend and co-writer of Rich. As a matter of fact, what I've been told in the story is that Rich brought Lowell Alexander on to his publishers in Nashville and said, hey, this is a guy that I co-write with and he's really good. And Lowell Alexander went on to become another great prolific writer, has written tons of songs for the church. So after Rich passed away, Rich's first publisher, Randy Cox, signed an agreement with the Mullins family. And through this permission, they were asking people to take some of these songs and record them. So what we have is Rich's first publisher, Randy Cox, called me and just made my wildest dreams come true and said, would you be interested in recording one of these songs? Because we have several of them and we want to kind of get different artists to release them. So I feel incredibly humbled because Rich was a real influence on me and in my writing, and I think even in my spirituality in some ways. And this song is something that I think we want to be sort of the theme of the album I'm making with you guys. It's going to be probably the only song that's not original for me on the album, but the song is called Thunder. Thunder is about disrupting things, about the way that Jesus disrupted the status quo. He disrupted religion. He disrupted the upper classes of society and began showing, who God was. And so I think in worship music, what the brothers McClure are doing, what I try to do, we try to just write as honest as we can, whether or not it fits into a pattern of what you're going to hear on the radio or what you're going to hear in the latest movie or whatever. We try to write as authentically as we can. And so I think that hopefully in doing something like that, we're honoring the legacy of Rich. The challenge for me is how do I find my voice in something that Rich wrote? So that to me, more than just the obvious challenge of playing it and singing it, is just trying to make the song something that honors all those things that I feel like it needs to honor.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were times that Rich Mullins' music, in a way that no other artist had spoken to me, and especially songs about God. There were certain songs that Rich had that I felt like in certain moments it was like God said, I'm gonna use this man as the vessel to speak exactly to this need that you have so deeply right now. It's incredibly meaningful to me in that regard to have some share in the uniqueness of this legacy, you know. So,
Well, thank you, man.
my
We
pleasure.
are super excited about this song, and we're excited for you to hear it. And I know that we know that you're going to enjoy it and take pleasure in it, and hopefully it helps you as well. And so we've had a good time recording it,
Yeah.
and we've had a good time having Rick here with us. And so thank you very much, man.
My pleasure. Thank you.
You walked in when the prophets had grown tired of being so inspired, but rarely being